for another 2 minutes and then we'll start up.
Is Karestes coming to this? Out of curiosity.
I don't think he can make it. Sent him the invite, but
Happens.
yeah.
Where's TJ?
Yeah, where is TJ?
I think he's here.
I'm here. Chill out, homie.
All right. Trace, you want to pull that up?
Yeah.
Numbers have started to slow down and joining. All right. Are we good to go?
Yeah, probably.
All right. So, hey guys, we're Pittsburgh Electric Propulsion. We're a brand new engineering team here at Pitt. Got an engineering team and a business team, but we're open to all majors. So doesn't matter what you guys are. We're happy to have you. And we're going to be competing in the PEP for small craft competition. And today is kind of our first meeting, but it's more really just of an info session to fill you guys in on what the project is, what's involved with the project, and how we're going to run it. Yeah, we hope that everybody come out. Everybody's welcomed. Come out to as much as you can. If you can only come to, it doesn't really matter how much you can commit to us, but just we're happy to have you for whatever you can. So we'll start out with introducing ourselves. Next slide. I'm Nick Jenko. I founded this club with Trace back in March/April, right around then. I'm majoring in electrical engineering with concentration in power and energy. Right now, I have a co-op with Phillips Advanced Innovation. So I had my first rotation back in the spring, and I'm on my second rotation right now for the fall semester. I've done some research. I've been involved in a couple labs here at Pitt, most of them kind of bio-y labs. My first one was a year ago. We looked at the invasion rates of high-grade serous ovarian cancers. And right now I'm working on developing an electrocautery device. Besides that, I love playing basketball and hanging out with my friends.
Hi, everyone. I'm Trace. I'm the other co-founder for the club. I'm a junior here at Pitt, studying mechanical engineering, and I'm getting a minor in computer science. I'm doing research with Dr. Van de Geest in the soft tissue biomechanics laboratory, and I'm also working with Nick and Dr. Chun on that electrocautery device you just mentioned. Some of my other hobbies are skateboarding and playing chess.
What's going on, guys? I'm Chris. I'm the business manager. I'm a junior majoring in finance with a minor in economics. My career interests include equity trading and equity research. I'm a full-time equity trader for almost 3 years now. In the past 6 months, I've dove into derivative trading, which has been really exciting. Looking to put together a dynamic business team I see a lot of familiar faces in here, as well as a lot of faces that we met at the club fairs last week. You don't have to be a business major to be on the business team. There's a lot of cool niche things that we'll get into later that you can be involved in, but a lot of professional development will come from being on the business team, as well as just being part of this club overall. Besides my interest in equity research and trading, I love to play basketball and golf, hiking, all outdoor activities. Went camping in Montana earlier this year, and spending time with family and friends. As you can see on the right, it's a picture I took with my mother earlier this week. Took her out for her birthday. It was a really good time. Look forward to meeting all of you guys.
All right, hello guys. My name is Camden Sarkey. I'm actually the second mate on Pittsburgh Electric Propulsion, and I'm currently majoring in electrical engineering with the concentration in power. I also do have a co-op with Emerson Electric in Pittsburgh, where I work on excitation systems for power plants. And some of the other things that I do for fun are I love fishing, and I'm a huge White Sox and Chicago Bears fan. And I'm also really excited to work on these things in the club, especially the motor. So.
All right, now I'm going to talk a little bit about the big event that we're going to be competing in as a club. It's called Promoting Electric Propulsion, and it's ran by the American Society of Naval Engineers. Me and Nick were actually able to attend the previous competition this year in July, and we got to see a lot about what it was like and how all the teams did. But the next competition, the one we're going to be competing in, is in May of next year, and it's in Baltimore, Maryland. Basically, it's just a 5-mile race, and it's the course is a half mile down and then a hairpin turn, half-mile back, and then just do that 4 more times, and then the race is done. There really isn't many restrictions on the watercraft that you have to come with. All it has to be is electric powered. It has to hold 2 people and race safely with 1, and it's got to be a registered watercraft. Besides that, it's really up to whatever the teams want to do and however crazy they want to get with it, or however simple they want to keep it. And for the competition, there are cash prizes for the winners. So we're hoping to place well and secure some more money for the team for next year. As you know, the hull is a big part of the boat, and many of you may know that we are getting our hull from Zodiac Milpro. They're our first sponsor. They're currently getting the hull built for us in Spain right now, and we're going to be getting it shipped over here around October. It's called an ERB 380, and it's a emergency rescue boat. This is a picture of it. So building the hull isn't something we're going to have to worry about, but we're going to have to worry about weight distribution and where we're going to put the motor and the batteries and make sure everything goes right. And computational fluid dynamics is going to be something we're going to use a lot to really make sure that we're going to have the boat that runs smoothly, and other simulation is going to be important.
Another big aspect of this group is going to be the battery. It's kind of battery systems are kind of the limiting factor with electric propulsion right now, because their weight is hard to get distance and speed to go along with them. So we're going to be using probably ANSYS simulation software to maximize our battery life, and we're hoping to get a couple Tesla batteries to be our system, and we'll put those in series. And then another part of this project that's going to come along kind of more second semester probably would be our charger. We'd like to charge these batteries with renewable energy. Most likely is solar. Initially, we thought we could make the boat run on solar, but over the summer, we kind of eliminated that because you can't get enough power. However, we thought we could still charge the batteries with like a solar charger.
All right, another very important aspect of this boat is the motor, obviously. So this is probably going to require the most effort because we actually opted to try and design our own motor, which I think will be a lot of fun. So with coming in that, since it is an electric motor, we're going to have to deal a lot with electromagnetics and figuring out like what kind of motor we want and how it's going to operate. And with that also, we have to figure out a lot of the materials because there's going to involve a lot of magnets. So there's a lot of different options out there into what we could use. And another huge important part is actually figuring out how the thermal properties. So when these motors are spinning, they do produce a lot of heat. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to cool it down and also minimize this heat being produced. And then obviously, once we get this engine, this motor running, we're gonna have to figure out how to actually take the spinning torque and put it into the outboard to actually drive the motor or drive the boat forward through the drivetrain. And I know it does seem like it's a very complicated, which it will be, but we're open to any knowledge levels. So we don't care how much you know, we're willing to figure it out and learn more and solve these problems. So all are welcome.
Yeah, so kind of making a 180, moving on to the business plan. It's kind of breaking down into 3 parts: funding, budgeting, and marketing. And depending on how many members we have on the business team, we might end up making groups for this, or if it's a smaller group, everyone might be working on a specific part of it. But in regards to funding, right now, again, we've reached out to maybe 20, 30 companies over the past couple months, trying to secure sponsorship, in which I'll get into the levels of that on the next slide. We've tossed around maybe having some fundraisers through the school, something that's definitely in play to raise some money for t-shirts, as well as the biggest thing that we're going to be leading up to and kind of working on over the next month is like getting sponsorship through the school. Now, the Swanson School of Engineering, as well as some different engineering-based organizations that we're going to be reaching out to soon, in which we're going to be essentially doing an elevator pitch and telling them why they should invest money in us. Moving on to budgeting, I mean, obviously not everything's hashed out yet, but some of the main things we need to consider are marina space, if and when we need it, a battery, trailer, a hull motor, and a motor base. Ideally, we want to have the business team working with the e-board and the rest of the engineers on kind of making an effective screening method in which we are getting the highest quality parts for the best quality price, and we're not going over budget. And at the end, we're ultimately saving money. Again, we're not even at the end of the first inning of that. A lot of work to come on that, but that's gonna again require a lot of number crunching, a lot of hours put into making sure we don't spend too much money, because if we do spend too much money, we ultimately fail, which we're not going to do. Moving on to marketing. As if you haven't followed us yet, follow us on Instagram at Pittsburgh Electric Propulsion. We have a LinkedIn set up. If you look up Nick on LinkedIn, I know we're connected through there. And we're also, we're teasing the idea of starting up a YouTube channel in which if we can find someone who's nice with a camera and editing, potentially kind of film our progress as we move on through the next 2 semesters. This is something that we think would be really beneficial in order to appeal to our sponsorships. Our sponsors could see exactly where their money and resources are going, as well as if they see something, if they want to learn more about, or they have suggestions or advice, they can easily do that through watching our videos that we've created for them. And moving on, another part of marketing, I know I've already mentioned this, we're probably gonna get t-shirts. I mean, they'll be optional, but we have a really cool logo, and I mean, you look really snazzy on campus wearing one of those. So definitely consider buying a t-shirt. They won't be too much money. All right, next slide. All right, just going to briefly go over our sponsorship packages. Just to clarify, these can be material or monetary donations. Our Tiger package is the smallest, includes, everything listed on there. But again, we're going to be targeting Megalodon packages. There's no ceiling to how much money we can raise. Too much money is never a problem. No one's ever said that. These include all benefits of an appearance on at the company event, in which our e-board shows up and kind of preaches to that whoever the company is presenting in front of what they donated towards. The largest logo size offered on the boat, as well as again, just monthly a lot of mentions on social media, and honestly, just it's the most attractive package for that much money. So again, once we move more into this pitch process, we'll make sure we really hype this up and sell ourselves on why you should be investing in us through this Megalodon package, in order to make this investment make it the most of these sponsors' times. Excellent.
All right, guys. Now I'm gonna talk about how we're organizing our club. So what we're gonna be using is we're gonna be using Agile with Scrum methodology. So Agile is a project management philosophy that has a core set of values, and Scrum is a methodology within this. And essentially, Agile breaks down large projects into small manageable chunks called sprints. And at the end of each sprint, which for us will probably be between 2 and 4 weeks, you get something of value produced. And that way, each sprint, you're able to gain feedback of, all right, what have we gotten, what have we not. Additionally, it allows all of our members to kind of bounce around a little bit. So you may say, oh, I'm really interested in the hull, but I wish I could learn about the battery system a little bit. You could easily take on a sprint task from the battery system the next week. It just gives everybody flexibility, because I know a lot of people have different interests and really want to use these clubs to explore those interests. So I thought that this would be the best way to do that. And yeah, that's essentially the gist of that. If you guys have any more questions about how this works, let me know. But everything's gonna be worked on simultaneously. However, earlier on, we may have to put more energy into building the motor. So maybe 70% of the sprint task early on, maybe building the motor, and you could get that experience. And then as we get on, at a different point in the project, it may be that the battery is most important. So using Agile will allow us to be flexible and accommodate what's most pressing, and produce a product for each of those when we need it.
Yeah, and kind of if I could just say something real quick, like we've mentioned before, we're a fresh new club. These numbers we got today are great. We hope to see you guys back. But just to reiterate what makes us different from some of these other clubs you might be considering, like we said, like you will have a very dynamic hands-on role with this whole process of all of us. I've known Camden, Trace, and Nick since I first stepped on campus in the first couple days. They're great guys. They're great resources, not just for this club, but just for all your engineering needs in general. I mean, we can help you guys with pretty much anything, guide you in the right direction. But beyond this club, like we're looking to form like a really dynamic long-term relationship with all of you guys that will extend past this club and just provide overall value that will enhance your time at Pitt.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And thanks everybody for coming out, like Chris said. And kind of building on what Chris said, a goal of ours with this club is to build a lasting organization here at Pitt. Maybe it can expand into more competitions in the future as we go years go on. But for this year, we're trying to set a good base. We're excited for all members to join. And we're glad that you all took the time out of your days to come learn a little bit about what Pittsburgh Electric Propulsion is. Does anybody have any questions?
Are we ever going to be meeting in person?
Yes. We are planning for next week to be in person. So I would expect that, unless something goes wrong. But right now we're planning on next week being in person, and the location of that will be announced in the email. Yeah, I could throw the Slack in the chat. Let me get that now. Does that QR code scan well? Oh yeah, and also everybody, please do, if you haven't and you're interested in the club, please fill out the form up here, the QR code that says sign up here. And also please join our Slack and follow us on Instagram. The Slack is where most of the communication for club members will be taking place. And Instagram, if we have more followers, that makes it easier for us to get sponsorships. So even if you can't join the club, follow us on Instagram and just see what we're up to. But yeah, fill out the form up top if you haven't. Join our Slack, follow us on Instagram. And if you guys have any other questions, we're happy to take them. Or if you don't feel like saying them in this group, you can also email us at any of these emails right here, and we can answer your questions.
Could I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Do you guys have any sort of like tentative schedule for like as far as like the building and process is going so far?
Yeah. So I'd say we have a very tentative schedule right now, in that we want to have our first pieces built by the end of the semester. And we want to have our full plan laid out so that when we come in January, we get right to building the motor and everything is like, we are fully at that stage. So we want all the simulations done and everything like that done before the end of this semester. The first sprint that we have is research and planning sprint. So everybody's just gonna be meeting and it'll be 2 weeks. It'll be a 2-week sprint to kind of lay out the milestones and the timeline of what we need to get done and when we need to get it done by. And then after that, we'll move into simulation sprints.
Awesome,
That
thank
answer
you.
your question? Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? I'll hang out here for the next couple minutes regardless.
Hey, do you guys have CAD models for the hall that's being built?
Trace?
We'll reach out to Zodiac. If they don't have them, we'll make them.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I'm sure they do.
nice. Thank you.
And I know it may sound like the whole side of this project doesn't have a ton to do when we say it, but their aspect of this project is probably going to be pretty significant because that's going to decipher how we build everything. So the simulations that they do and what the decisions they make are really be influential, and it's probably going to be a lot more than it sounds like in these talks.
Do you know what software you guys are going to be using to do simulation?
We're planning on ANSYS.
Okay.
That one's the most available to Pitt students and probably the easiest to get for free.
Yeah, and I don't have any background in answer simulation. I've seen it done, but I've never physically used it before.
Well, hopefully gain some experience there if we go with it. Or I'm sure there's Siemens around, so they're probably a pretty easy resource for us to get in touch with.
Did you just say Siemens software?
Yeah.
I just did my co-op. I just finished my 3rd rotation with Siemens Energy, so I already have some contacts if we need to acquire software.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll probably, I'd be surprised if we didn't use those. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be in touch.
What's up, Jenko? What days are we planning on meeting? And if we do meet, how many hours are you planning on making each of these meetings for? Like an hour, like how many hours a week essentially?
So the general body meetings will be Wednesdays. I would say you could plan on 30 to 45-minute meetings there. Wednesdays at 7, unless we run into big conflicts with everybody, but that seems to be a time that works. And then sprint teams will be people who are in charge of the sprint task will be responsible for meeting on their own if you are like, let's say you're leading a sprint task, then you'd be responsible for delivering that sprint task by that deadline. But you could really do as much as you can. If you don't feel like you can take on the whole sprint task on your own, then we can put some more people on it, or you could just help out on other ones. So it's kind of up to you on how much time, but the general body meetings are probably going to be 30 to 45 minutes, and then you can go from there.
Scrum masters you think about having? And like, are you going to have a scrum master for each division, like one for the motor, one for the hull, or are you just going to have one general scrum master overlooking everything?
That's something that I've been thinking about. I haven't made a decision about that yet. I'm going to make the decision this next week before our first meeting. Sorry about that. If I had to guess, I'd say we'll probably do more than one scrum master because keep people's workload down as much as we can. And for those who aren't aware, Scrum Master is like part of Agile. You'll learn more about it as we get into it.
All right. I mean, I think we're good if no one has any other questions.
Yep. I'm just gonna chill out here until everybody leaves. But other than that,
Nice hat trick. Had to say that.
Thanks, Chris.
let's try. The hat's a nice one. Dave, you look nice today.
You know me. Actually, I got a question.
Yeah.
So, where do you guys plan on like building this thing? Like, do you guys have a space embedded on, like in the basement or something like that, or?
We will have a space embedded in them. We don't have one yet, but we will.
All right, sounds good.
Yep.
All right, boys, or everyone, I'm gonna head out. Again, if you have any business related questions, want to crunch some numbers with me later, start working on some proposals, I mean, shoot me a text in the Slack, or you got my email right there. But regardless, great meeting you all, and I look forward to chopping it up with you guys in person next week.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Chris.
Oh yeah.
Nice to meet you too, Jack.
You too, Nick. You're a great president. I'm so excited.
A
Yeah.
great leader.
Yeah, Prez.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Cece. Bye, Bye, Olivia. Bye, Bailey. Bye, Liz.
Thank you for saying bye to all of us. Bye.
Yeah.
Nick slays, man. Holy cow.
Anyway, Trace, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Brandon? How you been?
It's been a long year, but pretty good.
It's good to hear.
I just saw this from the email, and Lucas sold it to me after he tried to sell his electric car.
So are you interested?
Yeah, I have another project running through the end of October, but I can, like, after that, I definitely have plenty of time. So, yeah, it seems like a pretty cool project.
Awesome. Look forward to having your help. Whatever you can do. It'd be great working with you.
Yep, sounds good. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good one.